did was when they opened him up, there was a sliver of bone that had been chipped off that was wedged into his nerve.
It's the big one. It's what we've all been fearing. This kind of racing is going to happen. A horrible crash on the back straightaway.
200 miles off plus. He's going to fight.
Oh, man.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Demouchet's React, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we are back with another NASCAR reaction. We're super excited, but we did hear that this was like a sad documentary.
Yeah.
But if you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit the red subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell. Without further ado, let's get into this video.
They got a lot of memory pictures right here going on. A lot of flashback pictures going on.
Yeah.
The day.
The rising sun shall surely set on days of triumph and tragedy alike.
This was in February. That was my birthday
The
month. So I saw the
2001
prices
NASCAR season dawned like every other, under the Florida sun, where the sport's biggest race of the year was also its first. The Daytona 500.
She got that money in her hand. What you selling?
If Daytona was NASCAR's seat of power, one man sat at the
Three.
head of the table, Dale Earnhardt.
Okay, so
Take
he's
him
a
to
popular-
Daytona and let him go on those big banks. He was just magical, the stuff he would do.
Dale had a knack for Daytona that nobody else had. The way he could maneuver, he knew what he wanted to do with a race car, he knew where he could put it.
People used to say he could see the air, and Dale would debate you with that. He said, I can't see it, but I can hear it and I can feel it. He had an open-face helmet for that reason.
To run Daytona and run Daytona really well, you have to have no fear. You just have to be willing
What is
to
fear?
keep your foot in the
What
gas,
is that?
and you really got to manhandle that
about
car. That's when Dale was at his best.
Earnhardt, Daytona. Two words combined to tell a Shakespearean tragedy of sport. Earnhardt won every race there was to win at Daytona, but
Wow.
not the 500. Never the 500.
Never.
20 years under an unjust sun.
He was frustrated that his career would be measured by somehow there'd be an asterisk next to his career that he never won the Daytona 500, no matter how many championships or how many races he won.
At long last, Dale's day in the sun arrived.
Check your finger, everybody. Come on around here, buddy. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt.
He won it.
It took him 20 years.
But you did it. Never give up on your goals.
No matter how many successful pinpoint marks you have, bro, like, he said all the other wins was wins. I'm proud of myself, but this one I gotta get. And it took him 20 years to get it, bro.
Woo.
You think about moments, and I still can see all those people lining up down the pit lane.
That is
Everybody knew what it meant
crazy.
to him.
Ooh,
They
that's a
honored
long
him.
line.
Everyone knew that it took 20 years of hell. So when he did triumph, it was a weight lifted.
It was like there was a 12-year-old
years.
kid there.
I wonder how
That's what
many
he sounded like. He
attempts
was
it
just
took,
so
though,
happy and so
within them 20
relieved
years.
Right.
and able to just celebrate this great event that he had been talked about not winning for so long. It was a big deal.
That trophy right there, my name's on it now. They can't take it off. My
Yeah.
car's going in Daytona, USA. I don't care. I love it.
I love
I want
him.
it to be there. I took me a little spin in the grass so I get the good out of it.
He's all like he
You could
from
see
the
it in his
south.
face, you could see his demeanor. It meant everything to him that everyone said it was supposed to mean. From that moment on, he was right with the world, it seemed.
Dale told me in 2001 when we were sitting doing an interview, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. How do you feel about Dale Earnhardt?
A lot better.
I've known you
a lot
for
better
so long.
today than I did several years ago. Because of family, because of my life, because I think I'm a
a better person than I used to be. I got it all right now, Daryl. I got it all.
No, you really do.
I'm a lucky man. I have it all.
Call pretty nice though. Call pretty sweet.
You would like to be crossing that line first,
and then spin around the infield.
Spin around the infield.
Then go to Victor Lane.
Yo, what's his name?
She look familiar.
Yeah, what do you mean my big Fox brought their A-team in
They
here,
did put his name down.
I missed it.
Yeah.
2001 was the start of a new era in NASCAR. For new broadcast partner Fox Sports, Dale Earnhardt was the key to
Yo,
success.
NASCAR aired on TV like
Just as Dale's key to
Stayed on
success
TV.
was Richard Childress, his car owner and closest friend.
We had a whole lot in common. We raced our way up. We worked our way up to what we got. Nothing was ever given to either one of us.
say that.
We had a bond and a trust in each other
Say that.
that I think that most men do not have.
After several
Bill's
injury-plagued
championship.
seasons, Dale was finally healthy and a favorite to win his record 8th season title.
What people don't remember is Dale raced for about a year with a broken neck. He had crashed at Atlanta early in the season, and it cracked a vertebrae in his neck. And because they said the surgery was risky, he didn't want to do it.
His right hand would
So
go
you
to
let it
sleep
heal,
in the car, and I guess that was from pinching nerves, but he would drive with one hand and leave the other one over there on the bar.
What people didn't know is after he finished the race, we'd basically have to help him take his uniform off. I mean, he would unzip it, but we'd have to pull it off of his
That's
shoulders
commitment.
and get it down to that point.
Baby, look.
He did not get that surgery done until the season was over. And what they did was when they opened him up, there was a sliver of bone that had been chipped off that was wedged into his nerves. So he dealt with that for 8 months.
He told me once Dr. Branch fixed his neck, he said, "I'm a new man." In 2000,
Lord,
we
they
came
could've let
back. I
the
think we
details
finished
out.
second in the points, only lost it by a few. And all we could talk about that winter between 2000 and 2001, I felt that we were as prepared to win the championship in 2001 as any year that we had ever been.
That Dale Earnhardt Jr. was ready to challenge Dale Sr. for the title was all according to plan. His son drove for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, the team his father had built with a focus on the future.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think he did that just because he wanted to build something for Dale Earnhardt Jr. But I do think his belief in Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s talent had a lot to do with it.
He's led 209 laps, and the Intimidator's son is the dominator today.
I ain't seen you in a while. Hey, Superman. Good job, man.
And I remember Dale coming to me and he said, "I'm the envy of all the dads in the garage." And he just thought that was the coolest thing.
And Dale Jr. won his first Cup race in Texas. And part of my responsibilities was being in charge of Victory Lane. So, of course, I'm very excited. I have the Budweiser towel and the hat, and I'm ready to run up to the car. And this giant hand grabs me and essentially throws me to the ground. So on national television, there's this red blur and Big E going right past and getting in the car. Of course, that was cool.
And now here's the big man himself, Dale Sr.
The picture of him squeezing his neck at the All-Star race is a dear picture to me because he just really loved the fact that his boy could do the same things that he could do on the racetrack.
Oh, he's very proud.
EI was founded on family and friends, with 3 teams starting the Daytona 500. Dale Jr., Steve Park, and Michael Waltrip, a journeyman who'd never won a race in his 16-year career. Now, NASCAR's premier event would be his first race driving for his longtime friend.
Just coming to my mom's house to see Mom the day after my dad died. My phone rang and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm over here with Mom, just hanging out." He said, "I'll be there in 10 minutes. And he hadn't mentioned coming or anything, but he wanted to come and hold my mom's hand, and just say, you had a special husband, he raised these 2 boys, and these guys are a big part of my life. And so I think that meant the world to Mom, and I think it showed a lot of people in my world that he was a special person.
Maybe Earnhardt saw a friend who needed a helping hand. Or maybe he saw something in Waltrip that others did not.
It be like that.
Michael Waltrip. Got a pennant right up against the wall.
That's why you gotta be cautious to who you standing around. People will notice
I
you.
had started my
People will
engine
notice you.
462 times and had never been able to win a race.
That is Michael Waltrip, out of control. Try over.
Wow.
Time was ticking. Time was running out for me to be able to get a top ride.
Yeah, I seen that happen right there.
When Dale put Michael in the Napa car, and everybody said,
Wrong way.
have you lost your mind? He's driven 400 some races and had never won a race. Why did you pick him?
Dale always knew in his heart that Michael could drive. And he always felt like he just needed an opportunity.
Yes.
Everybody
That
needs an
opportunity
opportunity.
was at hand.
Can't be selfish.
Well wishes and good luck kisses lingering in the gasoline-scented air. Engines were ready to start NASCAR's most important day.
You're watching Fox Sports, home to the World Series. The NFL contract and your very first game is the Super Bowl.
Hi everyone, Mike Joy. With the 1989 winner of this race, Darrell Waltrip, after 17 years of trying, and Larry McReynolds, who's been to victory lane in the 500 twice as a crew chief. Gentlemen,
I
Born that
firmly
skybox.
believe with us going on the Fox network and with the amount of promotion we had done, that we were going to get a very broad audience. So that's why we'd spent so much time with the camera angles, why we'd spent so much time with the audio,
That's some
so
good
much
angles.
time with the graphics, so that when the big audience was watching, they went, oh, I get it. It's not just a bunch of rednecks running around a track. This is really exciting. And I kept hearing in my head Bill France Jr. saying to me, you've got to stress this is a sport. And so
Yeah,
we had
gotta
to,
stress
to,
that this
to
is a
lay
sport.
out this wonderful picture about why everyone had fallen in love with the sport, and why they'd fallen in love with the sport were these daring young men who were going to risk everything for glory.
That's a very great point, man. Because like I said earlier, I watched NASCAR coming up, and all I would see is cars just going in a circle. And I'm like, wow, I could do that in my bedroom. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? As a kid,
Right.
so you don't really think much about it until someone, like he just said, you have to stress to the people that this is literally a sport.
These people are training for this. These people are investing for this. Like, so much go into it that we're still learning about.
Right.
you know?
So, and I'm watching Dale. So, and I'm seeing that these cars literally go around. They all look like they go the same speed.
Yeah.
Like, in what way
it's a
can a
technique.
car just vroom, 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 do all the other cars to make it highly more interesting? You really gotta
And being safe.
and being safe. So I like the fact that he said, all these angles.
Yeah.
You gotta look at all these angles so you can really get the picture, so to see how these cars are doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty dope. I like that.
Rolling thunder rose to life as NASCAR machines rolled off the starting grid. The day's
NASCAR
events
machines?
had been put into motion.
Dale Earnhardt is the most prolific restrictor plate driver in NASCAR history. 11 wins and only 52 plate starts. Today chasing his 35th total victory here in Daytona.
The plan was simple. He said, me and you and Dale Jr. are going to work together and win this race. Thought sounds great, but it doesn't sound very realistic. There's 40 other cars that are going to try to be messing that whole plan up.
Right.
At Daytona, you can plan who you want to run with and who you want to draft with, and then they wave the flag.
Everybody else is driving with them.
Daytona 500 is set to get underway.
I want to be that.
I'm about to say, that look exciting. Just that part. I've been screaming. Oh,
When the race started, my car wasn't exactly right. It was loose, and so I needed to work on it.
Look at Mikey. He's got a handful. That's what we call a handful. When you get the wheel pulled way around there like that, he's got a handful of steering wheel.
I can't help but notice the front of the roof here on Earnhardt's car. It's like it's buffeting. It's because Rusty Wallace, the car in front of him, with that roof flap across the roof, or that roof fin, it's putting dirty air, and it's making the air on Earnhardt's car mad. It don't know what to do.
Look what I said. Technique.
Earnhart down the inside.
I never knew that.
Under Marlin, 3 wide to the trioval, and he almost took the nose off Marlin's car coming back up.
I believe Schrader led that lap.
He did.
Good man, Schrader.
The first 150, 70 laps, basically, I saw them, but we really there's too many cars. We never could really get together and team up.
Look at Earnhardt, right down to the apron.
So when you run in pairs, you can literally block a car off, so your partner can just like zoom in front. Okay, and then he can do the same for you.
But at like 200 miles per hour.
That's fast.
It's
kind of exciting
in the middle of the pack for longer than I
Go
wanted
80
to.
on
Then the crew made some adjustments and made my car right. I could drive the heck out of it.
15. Look right there. Look right there.
Give me a chance to talk about you.
There's one time during the course of the race that all four of us were running 1, 2, 3, 4. Me, Dale Jr., Steve Park, and Dale.
Pretty impressive. All three of them DEI cars up there in the lead.
I've been in so many things in the last 25 laps. I wasn't thinking until the last couple laps and see what happens. You just try to position yourself up there where you're in that group and try to be able to make something happen, or if something happens, you can capitalize on it.
It's the big one. It's what we've all been fearing. This kind of racing is going to happen.
A horrible crash on the back straightaway.
200 miles off plus. He's gonna fight.
Man.
Yo, them impacts don't just look like how they look. Like they really be like it's hard.
You know, it just seemed like this.
It's hard to watch.
The lid was about to bubble off of this pot here, and it just seemed like with that event, we thought maybe eliminated enough cars to make it come down to where we knew who we needed to race and how we were going to be able to accomplish.
And how do they even finish a race?
At some point, it's like we're gonna need one of these cars to knock some of these other cars out the race.
A lot of good cars got taken out in that big crash. And so when the cars are stopped on the racetrack over on the back straightaway, not only are we catching our breath, but so are those guys. And at the same time, they're strategizing.
We pulled to a stop on the front straightaway, and I'll be darned. I looked in my mirror, and I was leading the race. Dale and Dale Jr. were right behind me.
Woo.
And I thought about his plan, you know. I know he's a great race car driver
That's
and a champion,
smooth as
but
heck.
this
That
is
is
crazy
smooth.
what he called out.
Junior was sort of philosophic. It was kind of strange because he got on the radio and told the crew, he says, no matter what else happens, he says, let's be thankful, because he said, we've had a great week, we've had a great race, and we're so lucky that we missed that crash.
I remember him coming on there, and I can't remember if it's before or as soon as the wreck happened or during the red flag, but he said, Richard, if they don't do something to these cars, it's going to end up killing somebody. That kind of always sticks. That's one of the things I can remember, and I don't remember at what point he said that, but it was after Tony's wreck.
Okay, so listen, this really opened my eyes on the NASCAR industry, on how they really move and really get, you know, cars to win. Like, I'm watching these cars gang up on other cars, strategize on how we're going to get through. You block him off, let your man through, and I'm going to catch up. Like, all that stuff is unique, and I think the whole sport by itself is unique. You got to have a real unique style and understanding about it.
Yes, learning about who Dale was is really interesting.
No doubt. Yeah.
You can see how passionate, how dedicated, committed. Like, this man was driving for 8 months with a broken neck.
Yeah.
Like
that's a pinched nerve that can really shut your whole body off.
Yeah, and I think it also says a lot how he chose a man who wasn't winning any of the games or races or whatever it's called to be on his team.
That is jaw dropping.
All somebody needs is opportunity. That's
very jaw dropping.
Yeah.
Because he saw something in him that he didn't see in himself. Imagine playing a sport and you lost multiple times. Right. At what point of yourself you say, dang, you know what?
I'm gonna quit.
I'm gonna give up on all of this. I'm gonna just quit.
Yeah.
And then one of the top tier players in the industry come down to you and say, you know, hey, listen, I know what you got going on, but I also see how you move around these tracks, and I like what you got going on. So listen, come on this side, and follow the strategy. And he followed the strategy, and during a very, very difficult moment, he was able to realize that he was in a great position.
Right. Right. So that's this part. We're going to get into the next part. Follow us along on part 3.
Yeah.
Subscribe, turn the post notification bell, like. We'll see y'all on part 3. Peace.